46 points is what separates Stretch and the rest of the field. Right now is his chance to overtake and basically clinch in game 7. We got 2 more games to go, but the story of Stretch has been one that's been so much fun to follow all the way back since essentially Trios, when he first started playing with Booga, who's on screen right then. Since they split, though, Stretch has been a different monster, Shio, in the FNCS Invitational. He started playing out of his mind in solos, and now he's back again in the DreamHack Open.
He's playing like he has even more to prove to literally everyone ×2. So every fight he's in is that much faster. Every endgame decision he makes is that much cleaner. And we see that happening because the man is in first, as you said, by almost 40 points. So we'll see exactly who can actually contest him. Is Misty gonna get a little bit more busy? Or the late game is gonna get that much more hectic? Because he's facing a shockwave launcher, he's facing Cody on low ground, but he's still performing despite those facts.
Yeah, and I think one thing that he can do in these end games is potentially get up ahead of these zones a little bit more. But I mean, I say that and he's getting there every single time. Top 5, top 5, top 5. That's the motto for Stretch. Regardless, let's take a look at the map real quick as we have a little bit of time before these games get launched. Shio, what is Stretch to do to avoid any shenanigans?
I mean, the biggest threat to Misty is anyone coming in too fast from the bottom side and you actually getting interrupted on your rotation from Lazy Lake while you're moving there or coming to and fro. The biggest thing he can do is basically just control his side of the map or his side of the drop in Misty, whether that is the left where he's dropping or if it's edited, that right side as well. Past that, though, it's about making it through the gorge. If he's going north, getting past authority without even a single doubt or trace of confrontation.
And we could get rid of the map right now. That's a great explanation of where Stretch is going to be, but there's so much else riding on the line. Players like Dubs are in second place and they started to rise up, but Stretch is matching them at every pace shot.
Yeah, I mean, every time someone has even a leg of room to move with in these grand finals for NA East, Stretch is literally 2 steps ahead. So can he maintain that lead? Will someone else in the top 5 rise, or will everyone just fall together? That is yet to be seen at the DreamHack Open. The second last game is underway, and we're seeing where people are dropping. We're seeing if anyone has a chance to stop the king at the top of the ladder.
Whoever it is at the end of the day, we will be seeing a new champion in NA East. Stretch or Dubs or Divine. Obviously, Dubs has done well in the open tournament formats, but when it comes to major tournaments, has not pushed his way all the way up to the top. A decent performance in World Cup, especially in duos with Mega. Mr. Savage and Booga still engaging, and really good start for Mr. Savage. This fight has been ongoing, especially towards the tail end of this tournament. Because as we can tell for both sides, it might not necessarily be fighting and contending for the top spot, but there is a lot on the line regardless, because like I said, you never give up. A 50-50 for Vevi, no materials. He will make it through though, but Aperta will fight back.
It could be anyone from Creo to Dubs even altering his drop to get a little bit closer to the main source of where loot is at for Tia. Past that appeal, we haven't seen too much. Some updates of the middle of the ladder. We tuned in with Wrigley way back when he was standing a chance. Somewhere near the top, he was doing his fights. Very unique ways over here towards the yacht. Uniqueness continues between Savage and Booga. There's not really a clear winner in this fight for me just yet, especially right off spawn. They're very good at avoiding each other, but this time, instead of waiting for Booga to come to him, Savage will bring the party straight to the basement of the boat.
Booga still has a very big chance of placing well within the prizing, by the way. Potentially even encroaching in this top 10 in these final 2 games. 147 points is about 40 points away from where he would need to be to break that threshold. So winning off spawn against Mr. Savage is very crucial. Well, Savage has a lot less skin in the game.
Still is a roadblock that's very hard to cross. This POI, if you ever get bunkered down, your whole rotation just gets super scuffed. Too many people start to own places that you want to claim past that. A few houses at Pleasant Park.
Which is big. It's Divine against Tayson. Divine gets a big tag to even the fight. It's a 50 with attack inside of the box. Tayson A little too slow on the edit. Divine will take him out with good accuracy from the tack.
That's even better for Stretch and Dubs because every time Tayson is in the game, he's the one dealing damage, controlling mid-ground, not letting, as you said, Stretch get all the way ahead, keeping him at that blue line.
But at the same time, if Divine gets rolling, he's the one who's gotten the high elimination games time after time. And if he gets rolling, he could catch up. He's in third right now with 253. It's very, very much a far ask for him, but another 8 elimination game with some end game action, he could all of a sudden be staring down the barrel at Stretch.
All the blanks haven't been filled in yet, though I want to know exactly where Frist is, how things are looking over at Caddy, because last time it was a big jump scare. Edgy came out of nowhere, taking him out, not giving him a voice at all, and he might have found some confidence going down to a sniper rifle shot last time. If the drop is working, he might just stick to it over and over again.
Actually did get an elim. You saw that in the replay just then, but still another player contesting on the wall. It's Silent. A good start from Zexro, and he's definitely riding the momentum. A big 2-shot win easily. Silent took a little bit, chewed a little bit more than he could actually take because as soon as he approached, Zexro went out. One big shot, and all of a sudden Silent's like, wait. No, I did not want this at all.
I wish Zexro was slightly warmer and playing like this when the entire day first started for the grand finals in NA East, because the first fights we saw were kind of prolonged. Granted, though, it was against Clicks and a lot more high profile players. Bugha also fast rotating, not dealing this much with Savage near Pleasant Park, but he's going to be absent from the bottom side of the map. Savage is going to be keeping him here. And these guys are still playing, I don't know, cat and mouse.
There's evidence, there's traces of Mr. Savage in his position, and Bugha is not taking any chances. Looking through the window, here's Stretch playing in Misty Meadows. I thought I saw an arrow right above him for a second, but no. A pepper to rotate down towards the direction of Caddy, rather than the opposite side, which he's tried many times, and you talked about there's danger. Frist is chasing down Commandment, potentially because Commandment has what Frist needs. Yes, it's another shockwave out, but he loses track. He's down below the water line, below the mountain line. I don't think he has any more shockwaves. Commandment is done for. 50, he's AR. Please, no, what is going on? Frist, please, do not let this happen. What? Just finish him. Okay, thank you. Being a little safe. Commandment literally looks like he's knocked in the water right now. Please, a teammate, come. Otherwise, he's done for. He's even giving up right now. He's like, okay, let me just beam.
How?
Just finish him.
Way too long. Oh my God.
Inconsequential. The timing is inconsequential. Look at the map. We're overreacting, that's for sure, but this is what Frist needed, and he chases him all the way down to the edge of the map. A pepper to pop, and he gets the vault key, but you know there's going to be people lurking at Caddy Corner, which could buy him. Oh, Stretch is going in this direction. There's Stretch.
So much room made. So much room. Cody is here too. He's claimed the whole POI. He has every corner cleared. Stretch is getting ever so closer. Commandment has led Frist all the way off the map, all the way off course for this game. Stretch is capitalized.
But is this a risk that will cost Stretch? There's a player on the mountain. Is that Mongrel? I couldn't quite see. It looked like an F at the start of the name. Cody is in the cone. I'm not quick enough to spot that name. No, it's Nani. Okay, nothing even close to what I thought it was. He's going to build towards. This is center zone, so maybe he's not even thinking about Frist at all. Meanwhile, Frist is really not the biggest threat to Stretch, but if he's able to take Frist out, inconsequential about the leaderboard, but he gets the shockwave launcher, and that will be 100% a win for Stretch. I don't see him, if he gets the shockwave launcher in his hands, I do not see him losing this tournament.
The only weakness is where you place yourself. The nades coming down. We saw Polarize do that before to Edgy, but the way Stretch has kind of been placing himself in all these builds around different players, it's not really in power positions. He's playing way for that late game. Doesn't even bother that much for these mid-game picks unless they come to him. Here's the other player though, Dubs, who could interrupt things. he's also making his way closer towards caddy corner, albeit very far compared to where Stretch is.
Oh, did he just throw a crash pad off in the distance to bait this guy to come towards him? Yes, he did. A really nice play from Clicks. It works. He launches him in the sky and hits him with a charge, but it's not quick enough. It's not charged enough. But still in the box. He has a couple more crash pads if he wants to work his magic.
Basically playing whack-a-mole, but you get to decide when that gopher actually pops open. Out of crash pads, though, now it's going to be classic work for Clicks. Metal walls, though, so it'll be a little bit tough getting in through that left side. Vertical approach might be a little bit better. While this goes down, though, the rest of the server stays absolutely silent. Zextro, Clicks, Benji, Fishy, all these guys are in very similar positions at this 150-point mark. They could be moving up that leaderboard. Booga, Savage as well.
Nice phase through. Good technique from Clicks. And then also just that movement that he has, dodging the shots even when there's a right shoulder peek. Peanut butter edit opened. Clicks is king. Trashy moving not too far away. I think we've lost him in terms of leaderboard status. He's in 8th place with 192. Definitely a little too far out, but still fighting for at least the top 5. Would love an update on the Stretch situation with him in the middle of Cody, Nani, and potentially Frist too. Something to note too is the fact that this is center zone is going to be that there's going to be more people around caddy. So maybe it pushes Frist to not even go for that vault just because of the sheer amount of people that are going to be in that area by the time he makes it to that. So maybe in the end, timing did matter for him against Commandment, but a lot of speculation, a lot of conjecture.
Saw the way Cody cleared out that POI. Good shot there from Rift, absolutely. The way Cody cleared out that POI, it kind of seemed like the vault was in a very open spot with not that much surveillance, especially if Frisk comes out the backside from where he fought Commandment. Still yet to be seen exactly where he is. Spike and Spicy once again in brand new spots. Actually, Spike's back home at the Authority. It's kind of reminded me of the Dam. He's fighting Moody, who hasn't been seeing much success past game number 1. Big shots back-to-back, box-to-box. The mats are slightly lower, I think, for both parties here. Moody's on the final run, though, to get straight in. Nice shot. These two players, or anyone in this position, these guys will be the wild cards that influence people like Stretch, like Paper, like people in the top 15. They don't have much to say of the top 50, but they can still eliminate players in the game.
Stretch a big power position now in wood, surprisingly, but you've seen him do this. He abandons the idea. Look at the congestion already on top of caddy corners, even on just this hill that stretches on. Zexro's with him. So is Zuki. And I did see Frist close to the vault, but I'm not sure if he's actually going to be able to open that up. I'm sure instantly if that was the case, there would be nades flying. Benji on 174 could also break through into the top 10. He placed 7th on the EU, which in my mind is his best major tournament performance to date.
He's finally broken that curse. Going from the semis to the grand finals.
Essentially the top 15 curse for Benji. One of the best players in the world, but no major tournament victory to, or at least even a top placement in major tournaments. Finally, 7th place. I'd say that's improvement for sure. Out of his hands for NA East. And also, obviously, it was kind of out of the realm of possibility in the first place. Benji has placed very highly on NA East, but in the grand finals, that would be something insane. And what he's doing today is still insane. I can't understate that enough. All the EU players playing today, ridiculous if they're even able to pull off pretty much anything on NA. Also, some props to Riftmo. We saw him a little earlier. He was at 174. That is a breakout performance for Riftmo. Somebody who played very, very well in the semis, getting top 10. And then transferring that to grand finals, I think that's a success in and of itself. considering where he came from. Clawing his way over and over into the practice server, into the high-level scrims. Now here and performing in grand finals, nobody can question anything else.
Is going to be slightly unorthodox. We haven't had a bottom right ending the southeastern hemisphere for the last few games here on NA East. These mountains were in play, but weren't directly pulled all the way down. We already know the kings of that spot, or at least the new king of it. It's Stretch, who's in one of the top mountains. Frist kind of usurped on the throne. He has to climb back.
Ooh, what a shot from Clarity on somebody elevated way above him. What an angle. He will push that as well. The zone continues for Stretch. That center zone really paying off.
The one man who did it last game is still here, though. We have Polarized. He has nades in hand that can still be possible. One thing I'm noticing about Benji is the pattern of holding stinks, and they've been so monumental not only on his opponents, but the fact that he uses them in, half out, in fourth zone when people are finally boxed together. He affects 4 to 5 people. That's 5 points of placement for the rest of the server when those guys end up going down.
This game has tightened. This game has tightened a lot. And it makes sense given that it's the last 2 games, but we get back to Storm Surge, which we haven't seen for 3 games in the second zone or in the third zone. It wasn't a big one. It wasn't a major one that really people had to do much about, but it did affect, obviously, some people, and the game is more stacked and more difficult. A big Elim in the feed, Mr. Savage on to clicks. Benji again taking the opportunity, the possibility of holding stats down below the mountain is too good to give up. Unfortunately, it doesn't get surprised. Stats is paying attention, and we'll have the jump and able to block against Benji. Oh no, the same thing happening right back to Benji, but this time from the safety of a box. He has to go for the stink on stats. This is so important. One more will do it. He needs to get the siphon, but he won't be able to do it. The stink is not fast enough, and Skittles will be able to find that one.
I was about to say, he's making a lot of noise with that burst AR. Booga's the one who ends up noticing. First is all the way at the bottom, Trashy next to him, so side by side there, the 2 fallen gods of the top side of the leaderboard, now top 5 and I believe top 8 respectively. Nice try, Booga. Was almost there. Still getting pressured so hard, taking one more tag next to Stormline. Wow, it's over just like that.
Yeah, no mats, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that Mr. Savage and them were fighting for so long. First has somebody right beside him, and that charged shotgun will never not finish that one in one shot. Spicy tries to get in on Kaz, and we're getting close right now to Frist also diving into that box if he so desires. Got to refresh. That's so good for Frist right now.
The Chuck splashes with max minis, and I'm looking at the AR count, especially the way he went about this game. I feel like he must have hit the vault. If not gotten, I'm not going to say lucky, but smart lucky, if I could abbreviate it, of finding a good rotation and getting the ammo he needs.
Yeah, he was close to there. In the second zone, when we saw him from Stretch's POV, he was right next to the vault, so I have to assume he opened it up. Got the launch pad. He has that in his inventory right now, so I think you're right. Obviously doesn't have the key anymore, so somewhere there must have been loot for him to pick up, if not at the vault. But regardless, doesn't matter now, because all I see is a good position for him. Does have to move a little bit, but not too much. Already with 3 eliminations, by the way. And potential for more. That will be what he needs to get back into contention right now, but a big threat still looming, Stretch still alive, and if he gets another top 5, that could be it for this entire tournament.
He's beside Bucky, he's beside Walkman, 7th place and 4th place. People who are hungry for his spot. Right now, if anyone's in the top 15, all they care about is winning the DreamHack Open. To do that, this game Stretch has to fall. He cannot survive, I would say, past even the top 40, the top 30, once that zone starts to move. So half and half is where he has to get barred out. I believe that he has a center point in this zone, so he's going to be fairly safe, but will have to move. Slack's the one getting targeted, but Rehan is the player that goes down. Skittles once again taken out by Nico.
We enter the stage in the game where really we need to know who is all alive, who has a say on this. Before we get there, as fourth zone closes and fifth zone reveal, if anybody doubts Stretch, let me just read you off his placements today. Average placement of 8.17. First game, 7th, 21st, 5th, 4th, 4th, 8th. Top 10 except for that one game, which was at 21st. And potentially about to do it again. Here's the fifth zone. It pulls up the mountain, which is a dangerous feat for so many people. Stretch has to climb, and everybody else as well, scaling from that west side. What is this?
Trey doesn't know he's low. The guy doesn't even hear it. Aviv, hello?
No mats? Is that even boxed up on top? He was like hiding behind the cone, hoping nobody would see him. Well, easy elim for Trey. Aviv is out of the game. One more chance for him. There's Stretch. He's already made it pretty much halfway. Possibly with some bounce pads. Trey lands in front, gets a big tag, but now has to give up that elim. Oh, Shade gets knocked down. He's going to chase this, but this isn't even the frag that he was looking for. Still low HP, though, and he could still get it.
The effect of this, though, for Walkman and Stretch, he's making so many bills that both of those guys will have to climb over. Trey here, that is. He's looking to finish off this fight. He's dragging a lot of attention from the rest of the server, though. Letting those people move. So close with taking a lot of damage. This is the overall perspective on the left as to what's going on. It's going to be a mountainous zone. First will be one of the climbers. He has the best tool, the highest grade pickaxe in the term of the shockwave launcher.
If anybody else doesn't enjoy that, I do at least, Shia. But 4 shockwaves is all Frist has. That's, in my mind, not enough. So he's going to have, in my opinion, what he should do is play the mid ground, try to find an impact, and then take height. And taking height is easy, obviously. We all know that with the shockwave launcher. Very simple to do.
You say play mid ground, though. This is a mountain. This is where when you're on mid ground, you have to make big decisions. If he makes even one wrong one, that's one shockwave gone.
And the potential to fire it way down the hill, way down the mountain. That could happen. I've seen it.
The potential for self blunders too on the side of the mountain.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Nico's still in this. Mohammed's still in this. He's made it to an endgame. Okay. I don't see Zexro. I see Bucky, the player you're rooting for. Walkman is here too. Walkman, 4th place, 227. An outside chance, but it has to be huge. Never mind.
Mine is also here. They're the top side. Walkman taken out.
There's
Frist,
Dubs.
though. He's used 2 shockwaves. He's coned off. Frist, is this it? Oh my God, it's Rope Shark who gets clipped completely. Frist is now surviving, has a refresh on mats. Are the rockets there in the inventory? I can't tell that part, but if there are, he has a whole game ahead of him.
Dubs picks up 1-2. That means all 3 players right now are pushing towards it. Zexer on the backside of zone is running for that launch pad. He gets it, so he will survive as well. Stretch on the backside, though, by himself. That's going to rotate towards him. A lot of players in the sky right now, and there's no room for landing as this zone continues down the mountain. There is no space at all. Stretch is not on the launch pad, though. He's got himself a crash pad down. And yes, the crash course continuing down the mountain. Nothing left except a pad, but it's going to be short. Oh, he's gliding for so long. This is so risky. Rift Mole as well. Needs to get an elim to get the siphon back up. Is it over? No, Stretch still alive. Zexo finds 1-2. Rift Mole follows it up in the box. And he gets up to 4, another one through the box. Stretch is still gliding. Nobody has shot him. This is it for Stretch. Top 19 already.
He is barely surviving all the way down towards the bottom, but Riftmole has broken 200 points. He could also strive for the top 5 here in this game. He gets another 211. He's catching up to Frice to Walkman to Divine, who also launched padded. This could be Riftmul's game all the way towards second place, then the win possibly afterward. But look how far Stretch is ahead. 363 points, still taking shots. Day, a careful shot needs to be taken. A Perta takes that one out. Zextro is alive in this game, down below in the depths, lurking, waiting for his chance to strike, hissing. It's a snake that can swim, but he gets completely poached. Stretch has the elimination.
And with this last material, that was what he needed. A nice shot on the Zexro, full refresh, back up to 6 mats remaining. One glider gun will bring him all the way up. Now, last builds remaining. Bully's on the backside. He's very low. Stretch could actually take him out and get another siphon well-timed. Chaotic still in this too, but HP back in the favor of Stretch. No mats! Stretch with 3 eliminations. Now every pump is hitting, and he's getting right back close up to Dubs. So low HP, he blocks again. 15 builds. Stretch is a madman. Now top 10, a big tap on a smacked, but it's not enough to take him out. Still room to work with. This is ridiculous from Stretch.
Every shot he takes, he makes with colorful strides and results. He has 3 eliminations so far, pushing it for more, but it's Bryce, Divine back to back with so many others. Riftmul actually trying to go all the way towards the top spot. Nico controls everything. Stretch almost out of builds now, just 1 left. Divine getting smacked all the way down. Placement is still coming in. Dubs is active. The whole top 5 is here. Shockwave launcher. Stretch is taken out.
It's the smacked. Dubs is still on height. Nico has gotten 2 in the zone, I believe. Dubs is all the way up top, yes. So all he has to do is pressure down because the zone is bringing him out. Although I think he might even be off healing. There's still so many. No, it's only 3 players. That overview is way wrong. Dubs falls all the way down, and this zone is gonna bring it up. He has to bring them down. Get a siphon on there. Apparently they both fall. I think Dubs, no! Smacked is the player who ends up taking both of them in the final moments with the tactical shotgun. What a game for Smacked. But what a game for Stretch. Those shots back to back, and Dubs also surviving. So we still might have a tournament. We'll find out what the conclusion is after this break.
My crew, yeah, we're lawless. Got the man, them thinking that we're flawless. Yeah, mama told you that I'm gorgeous. Got a million tricks, can't deport us. I'm a flame in the star, call me gassed. Back foot slide, I'm slick to the mass. Calling to the tribe, it's a revolution past. Present in time, no, we can't be masked. So you better rise up, collapse, size up, shout out loud. Down before the time's up, so we better rise up, collapse, size up, shout out loud. Down before the time's up. If we break bread, then I'm coming like a eeler. If you want beef, then I tom beater. If you want beef, then I tom. 789, that's procedure. If we break bread, then I'm coming
Welcome back, everyone, to the DreamHack Open featuring Fortnite, where we are in the grand finals of our kickoff week for North American East region here. There is only one game left to decide who is going to be taking the lion's share of the $250,000 prize pool. It's been 3 days of intense action. Hundreds of thousands of players have competed in the open qualifiers, which led to 500 going into the semifinals yesterday. Those 500 went down to 100, and now we see the 100 here competing to try and make it and try and get a little cash as well. But it looks like this is Stretch and Dubs' game. Obviously, I know you guys keep saying that this could potentially go here or there, but it definitely looks like it's going to be either Stretch or Dubs taking the first place spot.
It's one of those two, and they just had a duel to determine what this gap is going to be. It's ridiculous how close this is. And we talked about how this is basically chaos in the rest of the leaderboard, and that's true. But like I said before, with chaos, there's harmony, and it's Dubs and Stretch at the top of the leaderboard.
Shia, was there anything really particularly spectacular about that last game?
For me, it was the way that zone went and the people that were alive beside each other the entire time. Ball is looting the Dubs and Stretch. I'm talking about Divine, Riftmole side by side too, coming up the boards. It's like a fight on so many different sides that was kind of foreshadowed earlier on in the day. We were watching so many 1v1s happen over and over again early game. Now we're seeing 1v1s on people side by side, not in drop spots, but the leaderboard in the end game. And it's poetic. You're saying harmony, I'm saying it's like a haiku, a 3-line, 5-line, 3-line, basically joy to watch in NA East today.
Is that how haiku works?
I mean,
I thought it was 5-7-5.
I thought it was a volleyball anime, but what do I know, right? You know what I'm saying? But
All right, everyone. I know that you guys want to see some of those amazing highlights that we saw from game number 7, so let's take a quick look at those.
It was ridiculous from start to finish. Zexro is starting to heat up as well. He's now in 6th place, taking out players left and right. This was interesting to say the least, but first did not capitalize on being able to chase down Commandment, at least in the later stage of the game, because he has fallen. He rose a little bit, 9th place and 4 elims, back to 4th, but the rest of the lobby has kind of eclipsed him when we think about Dubs and Stretch.
Yeah, still big kind of developments from every single person who might not be near the top. It was Smacked that ended up stopping Dubs at the end, and he's not really there for the top 5 contention. Still, though, he's making moves all over the leaderboard.
Yeah, but 7 elims in that win, and you asked me last time, Kelly, we were in this position, what do these people who are not at the top of the leaderboard have to do in this next game? And it's just do your game, play your game, because something like that can happen. That just happened to Smacked.
I mean, obviously these players want to play their game, but sometimes you don't really know where the zone is going to go. And that's actually what we saw last game in game number 7 there. You guys were saying that we haven't really seen too many bottom right endings and that the zone even went over the mountain. Shio, how did that affect the players?
I mean, in the very end of the game, it was kind of like if you slip, you end up falling. You never even end up rising back. That's what happened to Dubs. You end up staying in the water. It's so hard to shoot, so hard to aim, even though you have first shot accuracy. One thing to point out, which is kind of weird, is where the game started with Commandment going all the way towards the edge of the map is where the game actually ended up ending, which is the oddest coincidence I just realized. Like...
All right, guys, it looks like we're going to be jumping into the final game of the day. This has been our kickoff week here at the DreamHack Open featuring Fortnite. I hope you guys have all been enjoying it here. Bala, I ask you this every time, but this is the last game. If there's something that you want to see, what would it be here?
1v1, Dubs, Stretch. That's what I want to see in the last moments. I mean, if there could be a better ending, I mean, Anaheim ended nicely with Mr. Savage taking out Benji and going on a tear to win and come back against Bizzle. But if that situation unfolded, it would be crazy because they are neck and neck.
Shio, any last thoughts before we toss it to a break and then get into the final game?
I like the idea of 1v1s. I want to see the conclusion of Cody versus Cease. I want to see Benji versus Savage, because that is a possibility. And the last two people left alive, obviously, Dubs and Stretch. That is the beauty end game.
Chat, before we get into game number 8, I want to know who you think is going to be taking the W on this game and being the #1 spot for the North American East region. Let us know, and we're going to jump into game 8 after this quick break.